guys. This is Sean Wright East, and I am here as your host on the Breakfast with the Brand. Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. So, Junior, I know you always open up, but I said let me do something a little bit different, right? Let me do something a little bit different and open it up myself, right? And listen, this morning we're going to talk about your name brand game plan. Your name brand game plan. So go ahead, Junior. Go ahead. Tell the people good morning.
Hey guys, what's up? Phenomenal day. Phenomenal day, guys. Put it in the chat. How's everybody feeling? Where are you listening in from? I'm Sean. I just want to send a quick shout out to the people on IG. I
Okay.
know I can't see them right now, but whoever it is, man, phenomenal day to you. Yes, sir. I'm ready to get started.
All right. So we on IG right now. IG, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are live on Twitter. We are live on Twitter as well as YouTube. So guys, you know something? When people ask me where should I follow you, Sean, you know, when I do a podcast and they're like, where should the people follow you? I always say the same thing. Pick your entry point. Just Google me. Just Google me and pick your entry point. So I want you to think about yourself when it comes to your name, brand, game plan, and where can people find you? Where can people find you? Can they Google you? One of the first exercises that I did in Branded Like a Leader 1.0 was I told the clients to Google themselves. I said, Google yourself, see if you can find yourself. And it was really hard. Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. It was really hard for people. They didn't feel too good about it. They Googled themselves and there were other people popping up or they didn't exist. And I said, listen, if you're not visible, you're invisible. If people can't see you, they can't choose you. If they can't find you, what does that mean? What does that mean for your business? If people can't find you, if you're invisible, if you're not tangible, or if people Google you and find other people, guys. So if you see me look down a little bit, that's because I'm looking into my phone on IG as well, right? So if people Google your name and can't find you, that's harsh. That's incredibly hard. Think about a Hollow Man or being the invisible, the best kept secret, right? I posted something earlier about that because 9 times out of 10, you are who you say you are. 9 times out of 10, you have what it takes. You're really good at what you do. That's not the problem. The problem is obscurity. People can't find you. They don't know you exist.
Yes, that is Sean. So you said, let me get this right. So you said the name brand game plan.
That's right. That's right.
So what is that? What is that exactly?
Well, we talked about really quick before we came on. You said something about a mental block, right? A mental block and people having the problem with launching, lack of clarity, not knowing exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, what is a brand, how does my brand position okay, so watch this. If I'm in New York and I want to drive to California, but I don't know where I'm going and I don't know how to get there, if I don't have a roadmap. Now, right now, in these days, I have never driven across town. Now, let me just give a little bit on my age. I have never driven across state lines without GPS. That's just where I'm at, right? I have never done it with a road map, a regular paper road map, right? But there's some people that are a little bit older than us that may have used a road map. My mother used a road map. She unfolded it. So watch this. If you're going to launch your brand and you're trying to launch your brand or your business and you know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there, it's kind of hard to start. It's kind of hard to begin. It's kind of hard to leave safety and comfort and drive into the abyss without some kind of game plan as far as to how you're going to get there. So if I put coordinates in my GPS and it tells me 4 hours, 9 hours, 16 hours, at least I know where I'm going and about how long it's going to take me to get there. I'm not going to leave familiarity. It's going to keep me on a public street or close to one. And if I get on a highway, I'm going to know what the exits are. I'm going to know what to look for. If you don't have any of that, then you're driving blind. And that's what I find a lot of entrepreneurs and people in business don't want to do. They don't want to drive blind. Well, honestly, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to drive blind either, right? So that's where the name, brand, game plan comes in. It's like a GPS.
Nice. Very nice. You know, it's interesting when you say that. I'm wondering how much of business actually requires you to fly blind. Like, think about it. If you don't have a coach, particularly if you don't have a coach and you want to get into business, just from my experience, I feel like some of that success, some of that progress requires to some extent flying blind, right?
In the very beginning stages, if you don't have the coach, if you don't have someone to tell you the lay of the land and what to expect, then yes, it's flying blind, 100%.
Right. So the name, brand, game plan. What is it? Is it an actual program? Is it a PDF? How exactly does it look?
We're going to get into that. I know you want to know, and I know everybody else wants to know. We're going to get into that in a couple minutes. Maybe when we come back from the break. How's that sound? When we come back from the break? Yes.
Sounds good to me.
All right, fantastic. Let's go. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. Not yet. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
You know, there's nothing that you cannot overcome in this world except that which you refuse to fight. When I say brand, when I say brand and authenticity and being the brand, you gotta know your story. You gotta know your story, you gotta own your story, and you gotta be the champion of your story. It's very important that we control our narrative. It's very important that we don't allow anyone else to control our narrative, because when they control our narrative, they control our freedom. They control our freedom and our future. I don't just want it for me, I want it for everybody. It can happen, and it can happen for you, especially when you get branded like a leader. All right. We are back. We're gonna go ahead and go for real with this one, right? So name, brand, game plan. It's a roadmap. It's a roadmap to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in your business, right? So You met me. Okay, so I'm speaking at a couple different things. So IG Coach Mika says she met me at her coaches meetup in ATL. Says my branding is superior. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach Mika. I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So this is an individual who met me at an event. I'm not sure where I was speaking or who I was speaking with or what event that was exactly, but the inference, the interpretation of the branding is superior. And that's because I had a name, brand, game plan from the beginning. I didn't start my branding from scratch or from having no idea of who I wanted to impact and how. Right. So, first, I want you to think, and you can write this down, who do I want to impact and how? Who do I want to impact and how? I was speaking to a client yesterday, new client came in, and they have firearms experience. Right? They have firearms experience. So we were talking, and I was telling her that if you are shooting blindly, if you don't have a target in mind, then a gun is a dangerous thing. And you can't shoot if you don't know where you're shooting. So me and Junior were going over mental blocks and how people don't move, how they're afraid to begin, they're afraid to launch, they're afraid to jump, they're afraid to leap. Guys, so if you have the competence and you know you are who you're supposed to be, you have the education, the experience, and the expertise, but you don't have the influence, the impact, the income, or the independence that you desire or require, it may not be because you're not the person. You are the person. So you have the vehicle, you're in the car, you're ready to go, but you don't know where you're going and you can't see the target. So that's the first thing. You have to lock eyes on the target. So to lock eyes on the target, the first thing you have to do is make a decision. Who do I want to impact and how? That's the first step to a name, brand, game plan. Who do I want to impact and how? Now I want you to pay attention because we're creating this organically. So Junior, please write that down, right? Write that down as far as name, brand, game plan. Number one, who do I want to impact and how? And I want you guys to think about this because we're creating an instrument online with you. We're going to create an instrument online with you and for you, right, Coach Mika? So any questions you have as far as branding, let me know what they are. And you guys in the chat, in the comments, let me know your questions. Let me know your questions and what you want to do. So Keishan, I see you. Phenomenal morning. Charmaine, I see you. Phenomenal morning. Computer World Modern Inc. Okay. You need people who want to grow their business and scale. Phenomenal, right? So that's the first thing. Who do I want to impact and then how? Number two is what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be known for? So that's number two, Junior. What do I want to be known for? So who do you want to impact? How do you want to impact them? And then what do you want to be known for? Because your brand is going to resonate when you do it the right way. Pay very close attention. Coach Mika says, I met you at my coaches meetup in ATL. Your branding is superior. Guess how I looked when she met me? I can tell you, I had on a suit, white shirt, red tie. I can guarantee you, I had on a suit, white shirt, red tie. Now, depending on the day, she might have met me the night before. If she met me the night before, then I might not have had the red tie on. I might have had a white shirt with the first button open. How do I know that? How can I say that? Most people won't remember what they were wearing 5 months ago at a meetup on a Wednesday or a Sunday. What were you wearing? What were you wearing on last Thursday in February of last year at 7 p.m.? Most people don't know that. But because I'm the brand and because I'm very intentional and deliberate about the way my brand is perceived, I can tell you exactly what I had on. Exactly what I had on, especially at a public event. So because I know who I want to impact and I know how I want to be remembered. It's called impression management. Number two is called impression management. Number one is called intentionality, and then impression management. What does that look like for you? You have to be intentional. If you're not intentional, then you'll be interpreted any kind of way. Very important. So, Computer World says this: I want to be known for making the best, most helpful software and being a family man.
Hmm.
Okay. Think about it, Coach Mika. What do you want to be known?
Sean,
How do you want to impact people? Go ahead, Junior.
as far as those roadblocks, I was gonna ask you, what do you think, or what have you seen to be some of the common roadblocks, common mental roadblocks, for people who want to get started?
Lack of confidence. Lack of confidence is a mental roadblock. It's like a barrier. And it's funny too because before we moved away, before we got past the close, I identified I identified an invisible block, and it's called the terror barrier. So I learned this from Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor talked about a terror barrier. And he said when there's a very important decision that you could make that could change your life, it requires you to take an act that you likely have never taken before. It's a completely different situation. It's going to change your life. And if it changes your life, that means you've never done it before. And he said, when anytime you're going to make one of those very incredible leaps in your business, you come up across a terror barrier. So it may be a large investment, maybe a $10,000 coaching program. It might be taking on debt for your education. It might be leaving school. It might be leaving a job that no longer pays you. You want to do it, but you're a little bit nervous because you feel like you're not sure if you can do it. You don't know what's on the other side of it. So Bob Proctor called it a terror barrier. So if you guys have a decision to make or an investment to make or something to break off from or something to join into, and you're a little bit afraid, Bob Proctor used to call that a terror barrier. Yeah, so Junior, I would say those terror barriers a lot of times are what stop people. That's one thing that stops people from moving forward.
So Sean, I was gonna ask you, and I'm so happy you mentioned that particular example with people who, let's say, they want to leave their job.
Yes.
So when we look at something like potential, so people say, well, I don't know if I can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we look at potential and we break it down, potential has four pieces, right? So number one is your genetics. So I'm talking about potential in general. So whether that be in sports, whether that be in business, whether that be in schooling, anything. So number one is your genetics. Number two is how well do you know yourself? So knowledge of self. Number three is how well do you know your subject matter? So how competent are you? So we spoke about competency the other day. So somebody wants to get into let's say credit repair. How competent are you? How much knowledge do you have? But then the last piece of potential is emotion. So most people, they have the genetics. They know themselves well enough. They are obviously competent. They've most likely been in the space for about 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And then you have the last piece stopping their potential, which is the emotion. So I'm so happy that you said that because that really speaks to the terror barrier that you just spoke about.
Give me one moment. I want to acknowledge Nehemiah. Nehemiah Mabry just came into IG. How you doing, brother? Phenomenal morning. So go ahead, Junior. Tell me about those. You said genetics. You said emotions. What else?
Yeah, so it's genetics.
And then there was one more.
Knowledge of self, right? So it's genetics. So basically, if you're like 4 foot, let's say you're just 4'5" or something, most likely you're not going to start in the NBA, right? So you are limited to some extent by your genetics. So these are things you cannot change, right? Then you have knowledge of self. So how well do you know yourself? So we talk about the DISC assessment, knowing who you are, and even when we do stuff like the influencer brand profile and finding out exactly who people are based on their natural strengths, their natural tendencies. So you may have somebody who is a natural consultant trying to be a speaker, or somebody who's a natural coach trying to be something that they're not. And it
Okay.
often doesn't work. So you have to know who you are. Number two, you have to know your subject matter. So you have to have some kind of competency in what you want to go into. So if you want to get into branding, obviously you have to know about branding. So you have to know a lot about branding to be able to give somebody else that knowledge. But if you have all of these three things, so you have the right genetics, you have the right knowledge, you have knowledge of self, you know who you are, you know about business, you know about your space. The only thing that's really stopping you is the emotion. And getting past that emotional break is what we call releasing your brakes. Releasing your brakes and moving forward, or driving your vision, driving your dreams, and pushing forward based on desire, based on passion. So the opposite of fear. So flipping that fear into passion and having the knowledge of self, actually knowing the subject, and then having the right genetics allows
Very
you to
good.
press forward.
I'm really glad that you spoke on that because I went live in our Facebook group on Monday at 12 p.m. Guys, if you're inside of the Branded Like a Leader Nation, you want to be there at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. I went live and I spoke for a moment about the fear piece and how to overcome that. And the way to overcome the fear piece is to turn your why into a who, right? So a lot of times we fall in love with the what. Good morning, brother. Mac Billion, right? We fall in love with the what we do. So we're a coach and we love our coaching program, or we're a speaker and we love the sound of our voice, right? Or we're the brand and we love the way that we look, right? We need to stop that because when bad times come, and they will, when winter comes, and it will, when you lose someone, and you will, when something bad happens, and you will, when the market changes, and it will, you're going to stop if you're in love with the what. Now, if you're in love, if you have a why, very important, phenomenal situation where your why is your motivation and your drive. Okay, Mac Billion is actually Computer World Modern Inc. on YouTube. So cool, make the connection. No work, no problems. Let's go. So watch this. The thing is, when you shift your why into a who, everything changes for you. So what do I mean by that? People will say, I do it for my mother. I do it for my mother. Well, what is your mother's name? When you assign the name, it hits different. When you say I do this for Sandra, it hits a little bit different. When you say I do this for, the kids in my neighborhood, that's one thing. But when you say I do this for the kids in Harlem on 125th Street and 8th Avenue, I do this for little Tata and Nikki, right? It's different. It hits differently. It's almost akin to getting off the stage and walking through the crowd, which I love to do when I speak. It's one thing to stand on the crowd and stand on the stage and be disconnected and see people from a distance. And it's another thing to get off the stage, walk into the mass of people and actually lay your hand on someone. It's completely different. It becomes personalized. It becomes more personal for you. And when you take it more personal, you have something to fight for. And when I was going live in the Facebook group, I talked about soldiers at war, soldiers of fortune, police officers. When they take off their hats, they have pictures of their families in their hats. So when things get rough on the battlefield and they catch a break and they're able to take their helmet off, they can look in the faces of the reason why they do what they do. So I want you to think about that. Why do you do what you do? But then take the why a little bit deeper and say, who do you do what you do for? Give them a name. So I could say I do this for my family, or I could name off my children and say I do this for boom, 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 and boom. and maybe boom, boom, and boom, boom, right? When I say I do this for my wife, that's one level. But when I say I do this for my wife and then I say her name in my subconscious, it goes deeper and it becomes more alive. Because there's something about pattern and name recognition, right? So in the emotional piece, to your point, Junior, instead of falling in love with the what that you do, get motivated by the why that you do it. But a way to intensify that why and turn it up a notch and put that why on 10 is to assign a name to it. So you don't do this for family, you do this for, and then name off the family members that you specifically do it for. It's just a deeper hack that is used in psychology to drive it home. Kimberly Fallis just joined us on IG. Welcome, phenomenal morning, Kimberly. Again, like every morning, we are doing branding. We're talking about branding. This is your breakfast with the brand. So any questions that you have, put them in the chat, guys. If you have a question on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, put it in the chat and we'll answer it live when we come back from the break. Let's grow.
I said Sean Rye East. I'm proud. I said Sean Rye East. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker, too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Ron is the bomb.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Raiz. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
All right. So I'm a little bit ambidextrous, right? So while I was doing that, Junior, I know I played a couple of different ones. That was because I wanted to shift the camera on IG so the people on IG could actually see the commercials that were playing while I played them. You're very welcome. No worries at all. Let's go.
All right, nice. How we doing on IG, by the way? I am looking at IG, by the way, guys. If you have any questions, please go ahead, put them in the comments.
That's right. Any questions, put them in the comments. We're doing very well. Kimberly Fallis is with us. Mac Billion is with us. We had Nehemiah Marbury. I know he's probably with us. Let's go. We good. No questions whatsoever. But it's not about the volume. It's about the value. Right? It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Honestly, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So let's get it.
True. So Computer World Modern Inc.
That's actually Mac Billion. That's Mac Billion. So we're gonna sign the name to it. Okay,
Mac Billion. Okay, so he says, I do this for Anne, Rochelle, Karen, Charles, Ladidra, and Josh.
Let's go. Who do you do it for? Put a name on it. Be much more direct. It locks in the psychology a lot differently, guys. Trust me when I tell you.
It does. So Sean, the next question is, so we're talking about emotion, we're talking about fear, basically, the fear of taking that leap. But how does one balance that fear with practicality? I mean, isn't there some degree of practicality?
Of course, and that's where the
logical reason to feel afraid, you know what I mean? So how does one balance that fear with the practicality of not knowing everything about business?
Well, nobody knows everything about business, brother. And that's where you bring in the name, brand, game plan. So Kendall Ficklin, phenomenal morning, brother. That's where you bring in the name, brand, game plan. You got to have a GPS, right? You got to have a branding GPS. You got to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, then you're stuck. I wouldn't leave the house either. Who would leave familiarity in the jungle, because business is a jungle? Who would leave familiarity in the jungle and just embark into the bush? Only a fool would do that. Only a fool would do that. If we want to climb the mountains of Kilimanjaro, we need a Sherpa. We need someone to show us the lay of the land. We need someone to help us up the terrain because it's unknown to us. It's foreign to us. So if you're in business for the first time and you don't know where you're going, you need a guide. You need a guide. Like a white belt can't teach a white belt. They're both on the same level, right? And the person who's at Mount Kilimanjaro at the bottom for the first time can't help someone else get to the top because they're there for the first time too. So what's going to happen? You got two entrepreneurs who don't know anything about business. They just want to be an entrepreneur. They're going to destroy themselves. They're going to destroy them. They're going to hurt themselves. So the way you do this is you have a name, brand, game plan. You're guided by a coach, someone who knows the lay of the land, has been there before, and can help to facilitate that. That's just the way it happens. You can't get to $1 million following someone who's never been there before. And it's the same thing with the name, brand, game plan. It's having a GPS. You plug in the coordinates. So let's say you got a coach, you're working with a coach, and you say, hey, coach, I'm trying to get 5 clients this month. Well, the coach with 50 clients or who has been to the precipice of $1 million and built their brand can tell you, okay, you want to do X, Y, and Z. And you want to do it this way. And you want to do it on this platform. And you want to do it within this amount of time. And it might cost you X amount of dollars if you're using paid, or it might cost you to go live, or it might cost you to post do it with this frequency and within this time frame if you want to do it organically. It's easy for us to say because we've been there before. We've done that. We get 5 clients in our sleep. However, if you've never been there before, then you're going to be stuck. You're not going to feel like moving. And I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you at all because you're safe.
Yes, sir. So in terms of the game plan, we stopped on step number 2. So
Great.
the first step is who do you want to impact and how?
Okay.
What do you want to be known for?
Okay.
So what is number 3? What is the third question?
For number 3, I would say a clear target in numbers, something that is verifiable, something that is quantifiable. And forgive my vocabulary. What I mean is numbers, guys, simply a target. So I'm going to answer that in 1 second, brother. The thing is this. If you say I want to make more money, that's too vague. It's not clear enough. When people, a lot of times, so I want you to think about this and write this down if you have pen and distance. The quality of the question determines the quality of the answer. The quality of the question determines the quality of the answer, the quality of clarity. Many times we don't have the quality of clarity, and what we ask of the universe is vague. What we ask of ourselves is vague. What we ask of the universe is vague. And what we ask of our coaches is vague. And we just say, I want more. I want more clients. I want more money. I want more opportunity. I want more eyes on my stuff. It doesn't make a difference if the eyes on your stuff can't pay for your stuff. It doesn't make a difference if you get more clients if they're not good clients. It doesn't make a difference if you make more money if that more just consists of a quarter or $1. How is it going to help you? It's not. Most times we get what we want, and that's the bad thing. That's the scary thing. Most times we get what we want. So the number 3 to a name brand game plan is knowing exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. In numbers, how much revenue do you want to generate? How many clients do you want to get? How many sales calls do you want to be on? How many more followers? How many more subscribers do you want to get? In numbers, not just the word more. I think the word more should be removed from the dictionary. I think it should be removed because it leads people down the wrong path. I want to make more impact. You can't, it's hard to quantify what more is. The universe might say, okay, they want more. They'll give you one more listener, one more viewer, but that viewer can't be quantifiable because they can't buy. They're not in a position to work with you. So you got your more, but you actually have less. So we want to be very, very clear about what it is that we want. Now, I've got a question here. Give me 1 second. So Mac Billion says, I'm the first Black computer programmer in my area that I know about, and I made an app, and I don't know how to get awareness, complete awareness. So first thing you want to do, Mac, is you want to promote yourself. You want to pick a platform. Pick a platform. Don't just start going everywhere because you can't exist in 5 different places at the same time until you put a system in place. You can do it, but don't try it until you get a system. So right now, for instance, we're live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. That's a system. If you don't know systems yet, don't try to be everywhere at one time. It's not possible. Pick one. That's what I mean when I say pick one, make it quantifiable, verifiable. Pick one. For you, computer programming, I would say probably LinkedIn. I would say probably LinkedIn because there's a lot of tech there. There's a lot of businesses there. So you want to brand you, not what you do. So I notice on YouTube, your Computer World Modern Inc. That's okay if that's your business name. However, I would, if you're the first Black, right? If you're the first Black computer programmer that you know of in your space, I would say use your name, tell your story, let people know why. Why? Why did you do it? Why did you start? What makes you different? What dream did you have? What did you experience? What made you say, I'm going to go into computer tech? Because STEM is not the most proliferate with Black people, which is something that is trying to be changed right now, should be changed, will be changed in time. However, you can be a forerunner of that STEM movement. Yeah, you could be a forerunner of that STEM movement for Black people if enough people know you. So I would say pick your platform. He says he's on Facebook with his biggest following, has a LinkedIn. That's great. Let people know your story and why you do it. That's how you turn your business into a personal brand and people feel like they can touch you and relate to you and understand you. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for people to have resonation. You want them to resonate with your story. No one can resonate with your story if they see you as Computer World Modern Inc. It doesn't tell the people who you are. Next question. Kimberly Fallis says, if you feel you have a product or service corporations need, how do you start the market analysis to confirm that? Or do I just create proposals and send it out to those I think will benefit? Very good. Great question. If you feel you have a product or service corporations need, how do you start the market analysis to confirm it? I would Google the most frequently asked questions in that industry. That would be the first thing that I did. Google the most frequent questions asked in that industry. And then create short videos, real short with your camera, real short with your phone, and answer the most frequently asked questions. If you have answers to them, if you don't have answers to them, find the answers so that you can know what you're talking about and not be hustling, but be actually competent and well-versed in it. You want to build an authentic brand that's valuable. So you answer those frequently asked questions, and then you post those videos in the places that they're looking for them. Whether that's YouTube, I would do this. I would post on YouTube, and then I would take the transcriptions, and from the transcriptions, I would create LinkedIn articles. And I would post them both consistently and see what the following is, see what the traction is. You have to go where the people are looking for what you have. So watch this. Let me say it this way. It might make a little bit more sense if I say it this way. I love salmon, right? For those of you guys who know me, you know I love salmon. I always talk about fish, but when I talk about fish, I'm speaking about salmon. So I niche down. You're very welcome. She says, brilliant, right? He says, wow, brilliant. She said, I know that was loaded. Don't worry about it. You're very welcome. So I love fish, but I more specifically love salmon. So if I want salmon, I'm not going to go to a trout pond. I'm going to go to where the salmon are. And I'm going to make sure, watch this. I'm not just going to put out content because all content is not created equal. All content is not created equal. All videos are not created equal. All lives are not created equal. All IGs are not created equal. All reels are not created equal. All TikToks are not created equal. So stop just doing stuff. Guys, stop just doing stuff. That's why I wanted to do this. That's why I wanted to have this breakfast with the brand, because you might not catch me on Saturday and you making a mess. It's okay to make a mess, but once you begin, you want to get more targeted. So that's what this is for. Once you begin, you want to get more targeted. So this is what I'm going to tell you. If you want salmon, don't go to a trout pond, number one. Number two, make sure you get the salmon lure. Make sure you get the lure. Make sure you get the bait that the salmon bite, that the salmon want, because not all bait is created equal, right? So you want to get extremely targeted. So create content based on those 10 most frequently asked questions, and then do the same thing, Kimberly, that I gave Mac. Tell your story and wrap your story, guys. You want to really, really write this down. Wrap your story around your service. Wrap your story around your service, right? Wrap your story around your service, and then tie, this is gold. I probably should charge for this. Take your take your personal brand and tie it to the problem that you solve. Take your personal brand and tie it to the problem that you solve. So people know me as Sean Rais, the king of branding. I took my name and my personal brand, and I tied it to the problem that I solve. Take your name, make your name synonymous. I'm gonna end on this and we're gonna go to another break, Junior, before we leave. You want your name to become synonymous with the problem that you solve. It's called mind share. It's called mind share. The name of one of my companies is Mind Share Leadership. When people say Sean Rais, they say, oh, the guy with the red tie, the guy with the white shirt and red tie, the guy that does branding. I want you to say Sean Rais when you think branding. When you think branding, I want you to see this red tie and say, oh, I need a Sean Rais. I need to create a Sean Rais. Not even I need to create a brand. I need to create a Sean Rais. And that's what you need. You need a Sean Rais. If you had a Sean Rais, then people would make your name synonymous with what your problem is, what the problem is that you solve. What do people say? Give me a Kleenex. They don't mean give me a tissue. They don't say give me a tissue, but they mean give me a tissue. But they don't say it. They say the brand. They say the brand. They say give me a Kleenex. And I know every other tissue paper hates it because they're like, it's not, you're asking for tissue. You're not asking for a Kleenex, but Kleenex has done their job so good that they've made their name synonymous with the problem that they solve. So when someone needs to blow their nose, they say, give me a Kleenex. Give me a Kleenex. What's another one, Junior? Give me another example of that.
Oh, Sean, there are so many, man. There's so many. So what we call that top of mind awareness, guys. And
give me another one. Give me another one.
One is FedEx. So people back in the day,
exactly
before FedEx, I don't know if they changed or something, but people told me back in the day when you want to deliver something fast, you say I'll FedEx it.
That's it.
You say I'll FedEx it.
Now what happened to DHL? I know they mad. What happened to UPS? I know they mad. Because every time you say you need to send something fast, you don't say I need to send something fast. You say I need to FedEx it. That's the brand. That's branding. On 10, on 100. That's branding. The same thing with Xerox. Xerox it for me. Xerox is the name of a company. It doesn't mean give me a copy. That's what people want. They want a copy, but they don't say I want a copy. They say I want a Xerox. Can you Xerox this for me? And people say, yeah, sure, come on. And they take the money, but realistically what they've done is they've reiterated the brand. So you want to become indispensable and synonymous with the problem that you solve. I think we gave enough value for this moment in this segment. We're going to go to a break real quick, guys. If you like what I just said, put it in the chat. Give me your takeaway. Let me see your takeaway, see if you're paying attention. And we'll be right back. Let's grow.
I said Sean Rais. I'm proud. Sean Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions. and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes.
So for me, it was pretty much learning a little bit more about how to communicate, how I can build my personal branding and my personal development. With me, I do a lot of nonprofit work. I also work at Salesforce. So just trying to find better ways that I can network, that I can make sure when I walk into a room that my presence is felt. I felt as if he had a lot of takeaways, especially how he dissected the chessboard and like the king, the queen, the rook, the knight. So I really like that personally because I love chess too. Life is chess, the world is chess, it's not checkers. So that's what I really like about that.
All right. We are back. Okay, you're very welcome, Kimberly. Kimberly says, ooey, puts up the flames, says, I need to create my story, attach it to my name and what I do. So when my name is spoken, they think of that thing. That's right. That's right, Kimberly, 100%. She said, thanks for all the value this morning. I love how it just flows. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's natural, guys. It's natural. This is my passion. This is my passion. When you're in your passion, when you're in your lane, when you're in your gift, it's not hard. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, it's not hard to be successful. What it is for some people is it's hard to be authentic. It's hard to know what you're good at and keep it right there and not be distracted. We're so inundated with distractions, bright lights, loud sounds, barking dogs, cats, right? Kids, cakes. There's so much stuff on social media. There's so much advertisement that it's almost aggrandizement. And it's a heist, really, that's being pulled on your attention. We live in an attention economy, and it's hard for people to focus. So the ability to focus is the cinch. The ability to focus is the hack.
Sean, that's so real. That's so real, man. Now more than ever before.
Now
The
more
ability
than
to
ever.
focus.
Yes, sir.
That's a legitimate skill. Like, for real, that's a legitimate skill. Um, Mr. Max says, "Can you make bands with this?" I love it. I wish I could remember exactly what phrase he was talking about. Can you put it in the chat? Like, what phrase are you referring to when you say that? Shout out
Bobby
to
Jackson,
Bobby.
yes. Phenomenal morning, brother. Phenomenal morning. Yes, sir. We are doing the Breakfast with the Brand every morning, guys. For those of you who don't know, just joining in, listen, guys, tune in 7 a.m. Eastern Standard every morning. 8 a.m. on Saturdays. So you get a hiatus on, so true. You get a hiatus. You go sleep a little bit more on Saturday, but every single day, Monday through Friday, we will be doing Breakfast with the Brand and bringing you the biggest, the best, and the brightest, brilliant branding solutions, branding and business solutions.
So do we have any questions on IG?
No, I think I answered all the questions that came on IG. I believe. Let me scroll down and see. Nope, I think we over delivered this morning. I think Mac says that he's doing his LinkedIn. He's going to do it with his name. That's right. So now he's going to put his name on his IG or his name on his business instead of just a business name. Guys, listen, when you have an Inc. or an LLC, that's cool. It's great. Phenomenal choice. Phenomenal addition to your acumen. It's great that you wanted to start a business. However, when you have a business and you go, so when I did Omni Solutions, when I incorporated and I went to my bank and I sat down with them, there were so many Omni Solutions. There were people who had Omni Solutions who had been in business for 20 years. They had a huge marketing budget. Huge marketing budget, right? So if you are in your business name, you're in competition with all of the other businesses that have been there before you, around you, and coming with more marketing dollars than you. So you become vanquished. You put yourself in a red sea. The reason we were so successful so fast is because I didn't brand the business, I branded me. I branded myself. And there's only one Sean Raiz, not two, not three. So when you brand you and not what you do, you automatically put yourself in a sea that's blue. There's no competition. There's no competition for who you are. There's only competition for what you do. That's why when you tie your story to it, oh, Kimberly, I'm so sorry. Yes, you're right. You're right. I couldn't get the there was something wrong with the camera yesterday morning, so I didn't go live on IG yesterday morning. But you can go to YouTube and see everything. Devin Rodriguez, phenomenal morning, brother. I am Devin Rodriguez, just joined. And Bobby Jackson has a question, so let me address that. He said, how do you begin branding you before you know who you are? Woo, woo, that's a rough one. Oh, that's a loaded question. Oh, man, that's a loaded question. So listen, I'm going to address that question tomorrow. Bobby, come tomorrow for the answer because we're at 8 o'clock. It's the end. Listen, IG, show up tomorrow. I promise you, I'm going to answer the question. This is probably the best question I've heard in a long time. How do you begin branding you before you know who you are? Mm-hmm. Listen, don't miss out on the answer. We're going to give it to you tomorrow. Same brand time, same brand channel. Let's grow. Say goodbye to the people. Let's go. Have a good one. Make it a good day. Make it a brand day. Brand you and not what you do. One more time.